Hey, it's Rody. Today I'm going to be talking about a little bit more, I would say, vulnerable type issue that's gone on in my life, and hopefully it can spur you on to learn, to grow, and to do something better than I've done. Sometimes I am a harsh learner. I am a slow learner, and I have to repeat a few things because I'm so driven in some ways and hard-headed in wanting to follow my own ways, that I have to learn the hard way. And I think today, as I talk about this, I was going to make it in a multi-part series, and I'm learning how to do these videos, and it's been very unique, and it's a weird thing, but I've just said I'm just going to do it. I just got to start, got to try, because I want to bring value to people's lives, and I want to, with no expectation, I guess I should say. There's just no expectation. I'm none other than, if you like it, feel free to share, because I want to inspire someone else as well. And I want them to just know that there's someone else going through stuff and struggles and or trying to grow and become better all the time. And I think we have people out there that are doing that, and I just want to be one of those. And I think it's really fun, and it's a learning process. But I just went through something, and I'm going to talk about it, and I've gone through it before, and I struggled with it much harder before. This time was not as harsh, and it wasn't as harsh on my family, but again, I had to learn. And the three parts are past, present, and future, and how things affect each one of those, and how we learn from those things to get to the place where we want to go. And I think it's so easy for us to get in the past, be in the present, and not take what we learned from this historical relevant situation that happened in our life and not apply it to the present, and then not use it in the future to really never have that issue again, or to really minimize whatever it might be. And so today I'm going to be talking about gaming. I've dealt with video game abuse, I would say, for a very long time in different ways, and I've gone on spurts where I've had it at all. I've limited myself. I've tried not to do it at all, and I've promised my wife I wouldn't do it, and different things. So let's talk about it. So back when I was a kid, I got my Nintendo. I started playing Final Fantasy. I played these games that weren't just games. They weren't just like, hey, I'm gonna go jump and I'm Mario and I'm getting mushrooms and I'm growing bigger and I'm beating Bowser. And no, they were way more in depth. They were gaining levels. They were becoming something better. They were, and it almost became an avatar of yourself. So I would be that character. I would look at myself and go, okay, I'm gonna be this guy. I'm gonna pretend I'm him, and I'm going to go through this thing, and I'm gonna become the best at whatever I was doing. So I'd play these games, and I would become the best. I was just very good at them, and I could beat any game I played that was anything to do with role-playing, and I loved them. And because I was creative and I was a fast thinker, I would quickly get it, and I'd get ahead of anybody else I was playing. So if a buddy was doing the same game, I'd be like, oh, you're doing good? Yeah, I already beat that, like 2 days after I got it, or whatever. And a couple of us friends got better and better, and so we would compete. Well, that happened through school, and my brother and I would compete and do different things, and he got really good at them too. He's probably better than I am now by far, because he still plays once in a while because he can control himself. And so I got into college, and then I started playing like these first-person shooter type games, where a first-person shooter is when it's like you are the character, so you have the screen here, and you have like a gun pointing out, and you're this guy going around, but it's from your vision looking out into a screen. So if you didn't understand what first-person shooter means, that's what it is. It's your first-person vantage point of you looking like it's through your eyes. Pretty crazy, but it's what I did. And so I did that for a while with one of my best buddies, and we did that a lot, and I got really good at that. But it was never really a abuse, because it was only when I was with him, I'd go and we'd go play together. I was still single, so it didn't really matter. And there was nothing bad with that. And I never felt bad about that. I never felt bad in high school. But then I got married. I met this wonderful lady named Stacy. We married, and the first year was great, but there was this little thing called a job that I was really not passionate about. I did a lot of construction and superintending. It just wasn't my passion. And what did I do? I got involved. My dad and my brother were playing this game called World of Warcraft. Yes, I'm a nerd to the nth degree. And I'm going to make fun of a lot for this, and most people, my close friends, already know and already made fun of me. But I played World of Warcraft, and I got into this game, and they were at a certain level and they wanted me to play with them. Well, I was past where they had been playing for a year. I was past where they were at in 2 weeks. And there's a tick in my head that says, you gotta go check it, you gotta go do it, you gotta make sure you're doing this. And if I'm not at the top level, there's this OCD side of me that just wants to be the best. And I just can't not go try to strive to be the best. So I did, and I'm competitive. I'm not always best at. I'm not always competitive at like a sport like basketball as much, because I know I'm not the best. I haven't been practicing. I haven't been trying. If I'm not trying and working at it, I don't put that expectation on myself. But I would at these games. I would practice. I'd do the stuff, and I'd go, and it was easy for me. Very good at them quickly, and so I got really good at it. And this stupid, dumb game started taking over, and I went through some harsh things with work. I really sort of gained a low self-esteem during that time for myself and how I felt about myself. And halfway through the year of 2007, it was the second year of marriage pretty much, I was playing like 10 to 12 hours a day, sometimes 14 hours a day. And I was still functioning. I could still do my job. I made sure that I was working with my dad, and I made sure that I could pay for my wage, that my wage would never not be paid for. So I did. I worked just as much as I needed to get that done. I'd find something and we'd sell or buy or whatever and resell, and I made sure that my wage was paid. I didn't do a good job. I wasn't focused. I wasn't doing anywhere near, like I was remotely maybe 10% of functionality for how I am. And it was pitiful. And I got in this really bad almost depression and was playing this game. And all of a sudden in December of 2007, I went into Stacy and I went, you don't want me to play this game. And she started crying, and she said, no, it's horrible, and I wanted you to quit. I've been praying for you the whole time. And I went, oh my God, I am the worst husband. And I knew, in the back of your mind that you've been doing something wrong, but I'm so OCD that I was too focused to look outside at anybody else. I could talk about my relationship with God, but I'm not going to get into that right now. That might be another time. But there was definite distance there. There was definite a separation at that time. It was in a dark place for me. My friends would reach out to me and I wouldn't do anything. I will say the one guy that reached out to me the most, his name's Brett Overfield. He must have called me 50 times that year, 60 times that year, all the time. And I must have said no to him 90% of the time. And he is still my friend today, one of my best buddies, and he stuck with me. And I had some of those guys that got me out of that, I think, darkness too, but my wife really was the one at that point that saved me and said, no, it's bad. And so I went in there, got rid of it that night, just boom, done, all gone. So I got into some of these little app games. So I went, okay, well, it's not World of Warcraft, so sure, let's do this stuff. So after that, I got into this little game called Mousehunt. It's the dumbest thing. Oh, again, it's so embarrassing, but it was the dumbest thing. I want you to learn. I want you to be able to relate somehow. But for me, it was this dumb game, Mousehunt. It's just this little trap you have. You don't have a character, nothing. You're just this. You have a trap, and you can get different cheese, and you get these catchy. It's a passive game. It's every 15 minutes. You can click the thing, and that's it. And that's really all you do. Like most people that play it probably pay it like 15 minutes a day, and that's all they do. Not me. Of course. So even then, that was like right after I got out of World of Warcraft, I played that. I had to stop that too. Like 6 months later, I was like, oh, this is, I could feel that it was becoming a problem. And so Stace and I had talked about it, and I got rid of that. Well, let's fast forward to February of 2016. Even in 2015, Brett, a couple of these, like, I shouldn't name names, but they're my buddies that have control of their lives, where they're not as OCD as I am. They play like a couple of these games that they just play once in a while. I got into one, and I never went off on it. It was never that bad, but it opened the door. And for me, that is a bad thing. So it opened the door. So I went and I played this little game, and I was playing it like maybe 15 minutes a day. Not a big deal. I have kids, but I do it after they're in bed, when I was laying in bed or something, or going to sleep. Well, in February I went, hey, I wonder if that Mousehunt account ever got saved, and I went and I deleted mine because I wanted to get rid of it. But I was like, I think my dad had played. So I went and checked his. I was like, Dad, what's your Facebook account? Blah blah blah. So I got into his Facebook, and there, behold, it was. So I went, okay, I can help mine get faster because his is built up a little bit. And So I do this stuff. I get this. Guess what? I start playing Mousehunt. This is in February of this year. From February till now, I probably checked, because I'm crazy this way. Again, I'm very competitive. I must have checked, I don't know how many counts, but I'm very fast growing. I was probably one of the faster ones in the whole game, and there's probably 200 to 500,000 people that play. There's some, I don't know how many play regularly, but there's a lot of people that play that game. It's unreal, actually, how many people play that game all around the world. And yeah, my wife's like, "You're playing Mousehunt? Are you serious?" You know, she's like asking me, and I'm playing Mousehunt. I'm going through it, and you know, but I have control. I'm just playing a little bit and stuff like that. Well, they had added some things to this game, and so they had these tournaments. Well, tournaments are my bad area. I should never go to tournaments. I should never play games in general. That's just the way it is. I can play Uno. That'd be fine because I'm playing with someone. I can go over to someone's house and play Call of Duty or something like that, and I'm fine. But if it's in my house, if it's something consistent that can continually be grown, it is my bad. It's kryptonite. It's like the worst thing. It just makes me bad. And I'm functioning during this time. There's not like I'm not doing stuff, playing with the kids, working hard, doing stuff for my partners, but I start feeling that tug. It's like every 15 minutes, I wonder if I can go check it. So I check it on my phone, and I'm checking my phone. I must be looking at my phone 100 times a day now. And I started getting in that routine again. Well, just the other day, my wife and I got in a nice argument, and I had to cut it out again. So I went, and I've now deleted it again. So I've gotten rid of it. It took me a sweet argument and being totally an idiot to my wife to finally figure that out. I went and walked on the waterfront and everything just to clear my head and go, Lord, what am I doing? And I had gotten caught up in this stupid little game again. Was I still functioning? Was I still doing stuff? Yes. I'm not changing my life because of this game, but it had started taking over again. And I think the whole purpose of telling you this is I had a past, and I knew what I needed to do, and I'd set standards there, and I'd set boundaries, and I said, no more, ever. But it's easy 5, 6 years later to sit there 7 years, 8 years later. In this case, it's 7 years, 8 years later. I'm okay. I can deal with that. I can let that creep in my life. I can let that sort of move in. I can be strong. I'm strong. I'm doing good. Business is going better now. I'm learning new things. I'm doing stuff. I'm functioning. I'm taking care of my kids. I'm taking care of my wife. I'm taking care of whatever I'm doing. No, there's some things that just need to stay out of our lives, and we all know what that is in our life. It could be alcohol. It could be just anything of any sort. I think of alcohol because that's the easiest one that's a tangible thing. There's Alcoholics Anonymous and all these things. Well, I should be in something like that for gaming. I mean, it's ridiculous what I will let come back. And so I've committed to my wife, no more games ever in my life. I said, if our kids play them, I will not be having them on my phone. They will not be allowed on my phone. They will not be allowed anywhere near me unless I'm doing it with the kids. But keep it away from the kids as much as I can too, because I've seen what it's done to me. And I think if I wouldn't have had some of that stuff, I would be way better off. And I think it goes into the fact of the future. I mean, are we learning from the past? Now the present, I have this present thing where I dealt with it nowhere as much as I did before, but it's still a huge learning point. It's still a failure that I went through just now, that took me away from what I was doing and trying to hit my goals and I have partners, I have people that trust in me. And it's not that I was stealing many hours away, but it was stealing my focus. My focus was not 100%. My focus needs to be 120% right now. I need to be going hardcore at what I'm doing for business and for life and for what I'm doing. The important things. A game is never important, ever. I think of alcohol, because alcohol can get in people's way or something of that sort, or materialism. I mean, materialism, shows, TV. I mean, oh my gosh, TV, we go off on TV for hours. I mean, I know people, Or I used to watch TV all the time. That was another thing I had to get out of my life, because I'd watch these shows and go on a marathon and watch 4 hours in a night and watch or have it on all the time. I mean, HGTV can be an addiction and just as much of a problem as playing a video game, because it's just focused attention and it's taking you away from what you could be great at. So going forward and using these things to the future is promising yourself that you are not going to do that. So I write it down, I make a commitment to my spouse, I make a commitment to my kids, I make a commitment to my partners. I will never play games again, because it's taken me away, and I need that future set up so that it's going and I'm moving forward. I'm moving up that mountain. I'm not stopping. I'm continually moving in the right direction and not letting things get in the way of what I need to be good at. So in conclusion, take what you've learned from the past. Make sure you make commitments and follow through with what you say you're going to do. If I can teach anything to anyone or encourage you, it's to learn from your past, know and remember and focus on what's at the present, so that you do not get caught in getting outside of what you know you should not do. So that your future is set, so that you're going in the right direction, that you're moving forward, that you're not getting on that pause cycle. Because I think so many times in life, TV, all these things, these games, all this stuff get us in the way of what's super important. My kids are important. My wife's important. My God's important. My friends are important. My business partners are really important. And that's the biggest thing, is that you've got to make sure that you put the right things as the importance. I've been watching a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk right now, and something that I really do agree with him, and I don't agree with him on everything, but I do agree with him on, we waste so much time. And I think that was one of the biggest things, is I had heard him and I'd been watching, I watched like 20 hours, I think, of his YouTubes and stuff last week, and one of them was, he's like, if you're playing a game on your phone right now, you're wasting your time. You're not doing what you should be doing. You are failing, and it was hardcore. It was like, boom, I love hardcore. Give it to me. Give it to me, that punch in the face. I want it. I want to be punched so that I can become better, so I can do the best that I can. So go live your life fully. Look at what you're doing. Really look at what you've been doing in these cycles. And are you living up to your potential of what you can do? Are you focused on the future of your family, of where you're going to go, of you're going to do nonprofit work, or are you going to do something and you've saved enough so that you can do that, or are you doing it now in service and doing the things that you need to do? Or are you wasting your time watching too much TV, or playing stinking video games, or looking at your phone way too much? And you're not learning about social media, you're just checking out everybody's life, and that's all you're doing. And you're taking time away from the most important things in your life. So I'm talking to myself here, because this is what I get caught up in. This is what I have to look at myself and ask all the time. And really, in that past, present, and future, it's about asking yourself and being real. Don't lie. Be honest with yourself. So I hope this encourages you. I hope that you get something out of this. I know this was longer, and I don't know if I'll break it up or what I'm going to do, but I may just post it and just say, hey, here you go. And if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to share. Feel free to do whatever you want to do with something like this, because I just want you to be encouraged. I want to bring value to you, and as I learn myself, I want you to learn. I want you to share with me what you're learning, and we can just continually get better at what we're doing. So thank you. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon.